Tell DQ to read his cards. I think he somewhat does that on purpose.
And you can see that he's positioned his little card marker or whatever there, like right over the scanner. I mean, yeah, it's a little bit of a like meta game, side game, whatever that he's playing.
Is there a record? Do you know what the record is for at least the Austin stream?
Oh, the like record?
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't know. It's over 1,000. I don't remember how much.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, multi-way to the flop. Josh absolutely smashes it. Top pair queen kicker with a king high diamond flush draw. Checks over to Greg Potter. So Greg Potter going to go ahead and probe out here with second pair. See if he can take this one down. The answer is no, because he bets 1/3 pot, and Mark, next to act, is going to go for the raise to 310 with the up and down straight draw. Josh here going to go for the check call. Top pair, queen, kicker, and king high diamonds. And now back over to Greg. His hand has really shriveled up after getting raised and called, cold called. Even with closing the action, getting a reasonable price here, your hand is so unlikely to improve to a hand that's going to win at Showdown. It is just best to get out of the way. I like the fold. And heads up to a turn. Josh in a commanding position. Safe turn there. And Josh does this check. Mark now. Does he continue or does he take off a free river card in position with the draw? Mark here.
575?
Yeah, looks like it.
575.
Josh, once again, going to go for the check call here. His hand is just absolutely smashing. It is losing to certain hands, but nothing to be afraid of until the 9 of clubs peels off on the river and Mark gets there. And this is the cleanest 9 ever. It's not a diamond, it's not a heart. And not only that, but Josh now leads at this. This is a funky little block bet. Trying to get called by King 10, I guess, or something. It's a little bit of a curious spot now, but basically Josh trying to set his price and be like, just call. If you beat me, you beat me, but I don't want to pay more than 500. And Mark says, we're going to play for all of it. And this is the problem with betting the 500 there, is that he's only got 1,200 behind. So if you were ever going to fold, you should go for the check and your opponent puts you all in, then you can find the fold maybe. But now, you've really committed yourself, I think.
Yeah, and the fact that he hasn't folded yet, I think he was making a small value bet versus maybe even a blocker bet, because he's actually seriously thinking about this here.
Yeah, and I know that the pot size has really been inflated by Mark's all-in. This is really just an additional jam of 1.2K, so you could take a good chunk of that off. But Mark is going to get called. Josh will put the remainder of his chips in with the top pair, queen kicker, and no good. Straight to the king, going to take it down. All of Josh's chippies will move over to Mark, and Mark chips up to 9.2K. That's right. Let's see here. The Asian Cow, thank you for subscribing.
They got some funny names.
Oh yeah,
in some of these
great names. All right, E with a couple of ducks, flops bottom set. DQ has bottom 2 pair. Josh in here with a couple of 5s. Bets 200 after check 2. E goes for the check call, and DQ goes blasty, and this is the spot that E was waiting for. Both of these players starting the hand about 7K deep. Back over to E now, and he can play this as a call all day. No flush draws out there, and a pretty meaningless 3 of hearts here on the turn, at least insofar as E is concerned. Does give DQ additional outs, and he just rips it in.
Oh, man.
And he's like, all right, if this is how it happens, this is how it happens. I'm not folding a set, and it is a fair fight, except 5 of spades on the end makes it to where E's hand wins. But as it stands, DQ, bottom 2 pair on the flop, turns a heart flush draw, gets it all in. E calls it off, and Brick City Knights on at the end. So E going to get the full dub up to 15.2 thousand. DQ down to a nub, and he will be reaching for the old Tackaroo. DQ over here with the Maple Bagel Special, King 5 of clubs. Greg Potter here with 2 black 9s. 6-4-3 flop. That's going to be an up and down straight draw here for DQ. Backdoor club flush draw as well. Greg Potter over pair to the board. And the pre-flop betting league check, bet 175, and a check raise to 675. Greg goes for the check call, and there's a pair of 5s on the turn for DQ. Not the card he was hoping for, but does pick up a pair. And that's good enough to fire out another bet. Several pinks and some blacks lurking behind the graphic there. Bet of 1.2K. DQ flashes him the 5 of clubs and is probably telling him a story that's like, yeah, bro, like I totally got you and you should fold and stuff. Maybe in a little bit of a different version than that. Maybe not verbatim, but you know, see how Greg responds. And everything, or
DQ's been given the rundown for like everything that he thinks about every hand that he's in, which is a very interesting dynamic. So he'll basically be doing a vlog at the poker table where he's just like, all right, you bet 300 here, you must have this hand, or I put you on this, and you know, you probably have some middling pocket pair here and you don't know what to do with it.
Nice. All right. Well,
that's what I imagine is going on.
Shows him
here.
the 5 again. He's like,
oh man, I left at the worst time. It looks like everyone's having a great time. He can't even hang out at the table. He just laughed and stood up.
oh, okay. All right. So DQ has showed him both of his cards.
It's also very possible that DQ has showed E and or Andrew his cards, because DQ's been he's been showing everybody what he has.
Everybody knows what DQ has except for Greg, and Greg is going to fold. Oh, no.
Yeah, I mean, DQ is so fun to play with.
Tell DQ to read his cards. I think he somewhat does that on purpose, not to go all the way through, but like just as a mystery, if you will. Like once the flop comes, then he goes like, okay, now I'll show you guys my cards.
Mm-hmm. And you can see that he's positioned his little card marker or whatever there, like right over the scanner. Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, it's a little bit of a like meta game, side game, whatever that he's playing with us.
Yeah.
And you know what? That is his right, because DQ is DQ, and he do what he do. Brad with the Jiggities.
It's a $200 straddle?
500. Yeah, I think that was 5-5-200. Yeah, it was 5-5-200. DQ makes the call, probably blind. Checks over. Brad snap checks back. 9 of clubs. Brad looking to just check call his way to a river and hope that his seatbelt holds. Ace of spades on the end. Checky, checky. DQ says, what do I have? It can't beat Judy's. Jiggities.
There, he's telling him to scan his cards. 8-4.
He had a pair. He had a pair and a gutter.
I'll tell you, man.
Yeah. Ace Jack doesn't want to play this one first to act on all remaining streets. So heads up to a flop. Jack 8-7. Josh maintains the lead with a pair of 9s and a gutter. The Jack high straight. Greg has bottom pair with a gutter of his own. Bet 175 from Josh over to Greg Potter, and I think if you're gonna see a flop with a hand like this, you kind of got to keep going. Ooh, and he's gonna go for the check raise. I actually don't mind this at all. Your hand is not beating any of your opponent's value, and this is also kind of a connecty board to where you could actually push them off. Problem is that Josh has a hand that he's not folding, so he basically snap calls it. Pot goes up to 1.4 thousand. Josh checks this deuce of clubs turn, which changes absolutely nothing. If Josh was ahead on the flop, he's still ahead now. And Greg has to decide how much to go for. Now, if he does, and he will, this looks to be 750, somewhere around half pot. It is 750 for sets. But then there's really not a whole lot else. Like, what else raises here? I mean, there's just sets. Really just sets. 7-8, I suppose, could dream of raising there just to try to get all the money in against an overpair. But not a lot of hands, as those would be suited varieties, and only 7-8 of hearts and 7-8 of diamonds available given the board texture. So Josh does make the call on the turn, goes for the check. Stack to pot ratio is, I mean, about 1/3.
Yeah.
But Greg's going to go for it anyways. He says front door spades came in, and I know I don't have the best hand, so let's see if I can get him to fold now.
Yeah. I mean, that's his only move in this situation as well.
And while his opponent could certainly have front door spades as part of a check raise bluffing line that just did get there, I don't know. It's still kind of tough to fold when you've invested so much, right? It's like, I mean, I put it all in, and I was gonna go all in. Like, I was gonna check call all in on anything that wasn't a spade. If that's the answer, then okay. You know, you had a strategy, and Greg snap turns over the hand to show him it was just a pair of sevens.
Whew. I think sometimes too, when players that are playing that don't play for a living, they take.
And what do we got here? Nines, threes, deuces. Everyone gets a pair. You get a pair, you get a pair, and you get a pair, and then you get ace king, which is like, it's like an honorary pair, you know? All right. 200 to call. Andrew will not be calling, and in fact, I think this is just a pile. All that dead money out there, pile it in, see if you can drag to 700 without even having to see a flop. See if Andrew agrees. He's getting them ready. Ciao. E finds one pretty card. DQ snap.
It's like he threw it to Andrew. Like, here you go. I love how everybody's just laughing.
Yeah, everybody enjoying what's going on. And Dante actually in a little bit of a decision spot here. He's going to fold this pretty quickly. But this is why you don't just call 200 with a hand as strong as nines. Like, if you're going to commit chips to the pot, you're going to want to do it with a raise.
Josh,
and I think nines were a good shoving hand.
I think Josh is going to go for it here. What should I do?
Oh, he phoned a Pikachu, or sorry, phoned a Dusclops. He phoned a Dusclops. It told him to fold. And he's going to get out of the way. DQ here in a dominated position. Needs to find diamonds or a jack. It's king high, so ace king is best as of yet. 5 of diamonds on the turn, no change. Jack and a jack only.
Oh, the 2 would have got there, and the 9 would have got there.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Would have been set over, top pair, ace kicker, top pair, jack kicker, all of the things. And yeah, that could have been fantastic, because Dante would have gotten the money in against Andrew, right? And then probably maybe DQ doesn't fold the 2.5K. That was basically it. He probably actually gets it in there. That would have been a triple up for Dante.
Yep.
Going to be counterfeit, but diamond that completes his straight peels off. He's not going to feel inclined to continue, and that is about the brickiest brick you could ever hope for. Deuce of spades on the end. Andrew checks, and DQ, I think if he sneezes or looks at this pot funny, Andrew is going to fold. That's
damn it.
Yeah. 1.8K across the line. Andrew with a 1-pair holding in a bomb pot.
I just
not
really
going to get the job done too often.
Oh, there, he shows it. What is it? Oh! Come on, Andrew.
He's got the best hand.
Make the snap call.
How do you call, though?
I know.
What on earth?
Oh. Come on,
Andrew
it's
pump
DQ.
faking him. He's trying to get that information out of him.
Come on, it's DQ.
This would be the hero call of the century.
Yeah.
On the last hand of the night, it would make the vlog for sure. I think it would just be his intro, outro for the rest of time. Watch me make this sick queen 10 call on the river.
I just want to see the F it call. Make the F it call. Come on, Andrew.
The problem is Andrew just got some of these chips off at
That's
DQ. He
true.
doesn't want to give them back.
Oh, damn. And he shows it.
Folds. DQ's hand gets turned over, and Andrew's like, "Oh my God, I could have won with a queen." And there we go.